everyone, I'm Kendria. I need you to go like, follow, and subscribe Soul Productions.
What's up, everyone, and this is Next Level Thinking. What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Next Level Thinking, where we always bring you inspired guests to help you take it to the next level. It's your host, Chris Holmes, as always, but today I have a special guest, by the name of
Adam Farris.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and break grounds and tell like a brief summary of who you are so the audience can kind of get a little introduction of yourself.
Sure. So my name is Adam Farris. Good morning, everyone. I am the founder and president of a small business here in Houston, Texas called Younique Abilities. It's very uniquely spelled, Y-O-U-N-I-Q-U-E, Abilities. We're online at youniqueabilities.com. I'm also an inspirational speaker, an advocate, and an entrepreneur.
Awesome. And I kind of want to go a little bit more in depth in that. It sounds like you do a lot of great things, especially with the speaking part. But how did you think of Younique, the going like with the title of the name?
So Younique Abilities, inspiring all individuals with unique abilities to shoot for the stars, was actually, I believe, that came upon by one of my life coaches, a success coaches in North Carolina when I lived up there for a couple of years. He had given me the name, and I went with it, and that's how I believe it came about. So he said, Adam, you're very unique. You're very unique. And he said, just run with it. So I said, I ran with it. I kept on running. So
awesome. And I like how you phrase that, aiming for the stars, because we live in a lot of times, especially now, where people get discouraged and things like that, and it's always good to see some positive reinforcement from different people to encourage that, to get things going, because I'm a strong believer that dreams is actually what gives you, that purpose and that just that life and energy just to live life. What do you think about that?
Yes, sir. I believe that too. One of my quotes is, and just one of them is, make one person smile a day. Think about how that'll make them feel. Make two people smile a day. Imagine the possibilities. So going from there, if you're someone with a disability, or so-called disability as I call it, you really don't have a disability. You are unique, or you're differently abled, or however you want to call it. So at Younique Abilities, and we can get into my speaking in just a little bit, but we sell awareness merchandise, about 90 to 95% of which is handmade, and handmade by an individual with a unique ability. So, we go to different events. We go to the Abilities Expo. We try to go to the Abilities Expo every year. The Abilities Expo is a big event at the NRG Center in August, I believe. We always go to the Family to Family Network event, Conference and Resource Fair in January. It's coming up soon. We do a lot of events, and we have an online store as well. So definitely check that out as well. So,
and that's great. And also, I know that like by doing this and doing these different events, you bring a lot of encouragement to the different people that you come across. Can you talk about a moment of when you were at these events where it really impacted somebody's life?
Yeah. Example, at the Abilities Expo one year, I remember, I'm not going to name names, but I remember there was a lady and a teenager, and they sell caps, and for kids, they're hand knitted, and she has a unique ability, or a unique ability, and she said, wow, Adam, I really like your items, I really want to buy more, and etc. So we took a picture right behind my booth, and that picture has been on our Facebook page since forever. Me and the young lady that has the unique abilities. Every time I go over there and look at that picture, that always makes my heart melt, because it's just one of those moments that, wow, I remember her and she remembers me, and we always are in contact, and it's an amazing moment of me helping someone, and she helps other people too. So it's amazing. So she knits caps and she makes them handmade and etc. So it's amazing. So I just love that.
And I find that really great, especially with the actual craft of having everything handmade. So I can just imagine the time and the dedication that goes into crafting everything so that others can see. So I kind of want to do a quick little pivot. So along, of course, you have everything going great, but along the journey of life, you have, of course, we see the success stories and things like that get everybody inspired. But I also feel like the journey on going over obstacles is also very key component that people need to hear about too. So can you tell the audience a little bit of some of the adversities that you had to overcome as you're going on this journey to impact and serve others?
Yes, sir. So right now I have autism and Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome, everybody's going like, what the heck is Tourette syndrome? No, Tourette syndrome is when two parts of your brain called dopamine do not connect. So it's a misfire of dopamine in your brain. And just for a breakdown, Tourette's make you have involuntary movements and sounds which you cannot control. So, and I was diagnosed with autism in 2012. But adversities, I'd say there's been some stuff, for example, not physical to bullying, but there's been some words because of my Tourette's and tics. When I was younger, a lot younger, I went to movie theaters, out to lunches, out to dinner and movies, and I had really, really, really loud hooting and shouting tics, which is our involuntary movements and sounds. And, you know, when I have that and I'm out in the public, people would scare, people say like, what the heck is that? What is the Adam doing, etc. But my father, he really brought me up to be the man I am today. He took me out to public places, out to restaurants, out to those movie theaters, and told me, hey Adam, if you're not comfortable, we can go home. But I pretty much was always comfortable being out in those public places, out there in those movie theaters and etc. So I was like, you know, Dad, if I'm not comfortable, I'll let you know if we can go home. But if I was in a really quiet restaurant and someone said, you know, blank that or, you know, whatever, or I talked to them. I told them, hey, this is what this is. You know, and now to this day, I have I've held on a job at Walmart for almost 4 years. And it's amazing, you know, so it's just really great. So.
And that's great. And it sounds like he was a great dude. Father as well, especially yes, especially with him doing that and things like that. And I like how he did it, of actually like taking you out to the public, and it goes more in the direction of this is just, and this is also like a message to other people, is just be satisfied of who you are, no matter what the differences or things you have going on. Be the best version of you and accept that. And I feel like that is really like the core value of happiness, is believing in just accepting who you are and enjoying it. Because once people start doing that more often, I feel like people are going to get more, even more into a happy state of mind, especially with everything that's going on, because we need a lot more positivity. And I think it kind of rings back to like one of those lyrics, you know, by Michael Jackson. You know, it starts the man in the mirror, and just accepting of who you are goes a long way. Yes, sir. And I was just going to say, for anybody that has a son or a daughter, niece or nephew, etc., whomever with a disability or a unique ability, and you're holding them at home close, tight, let them get out there in the public. Let them get a job. Let them have a career. Let them be out there in the public. You know, a lot of folks these days want to keep their son or their daughter at home, but you know that's not what we need to do. We need to let our kids and our daughters, etc., sons, whatever, be out there with other people, going to have friends and seeing things and doing things, seeing the world, etc. So. Exactly, and I completely agree with that. So I want to kind of dive in a little bit more onto that. So I want to kind of throw this question at you. I feel like this is focused around fear. And a lot of times you have parents, they want the best thing outcome for their child, but I feel like a lot of times they allow their own fears to hold their child back. So with that said, what do you think are some of the fears for parents, for people who have like a similar diagnosis as yourself?
Fear, I think, is a lot has to do with it. Fear can definitely have a lot to do with it. I think a lot of it too is bullying. Bullying in the schools these days as well. The bullying being bullied and the bullies being bullied, which is a really big point. But definitely fear has a lot to do with it, and just don't be afraid. If you have to go out there with them, if they're 30 or 40 or whatnot, or if they're 13 or 10 or whatnot, go out there, be with them, hang out with them. Hey, like I was just saying earlier, if you're not okay, let's go home. Just tell it to them quietly. If you're at the dinner table and you have to text them at the dinner table at a restaurant, just quietly, hey, if you're not okay, let's go home. Just text them quietly. Hey, because if you don't want to say it out loud, that's what I mean. Mm-hmm. But bullying is the big thing these days, especially for the disabled or the uniquely able. I feel like getting into a deeper subject too. I feel like the bullies are being bullied, and then the ones that are being bullied, the ones that are being the ones that are the bullies are being bullied too. So, and the parents might not even notice that, hey, this bully or this individual was being bullied, then that bully goes and bullies someone else, and et cetera. So then that leads to something worse. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yes, perfect sense. I love how you elaborate on that and went into details, because there's so many different parts of that especially with the bullying that plays into people's perception of the situation and much more. So I want to also kind of tag on to this of everything we just said is, of course, building that confidence within yourself, but I want to hear your opinion on the importance of but getting outside of your comfort zone. And the reason why I kind of phrase it like that is because, and for growth, not only for you personally, but to gain other opportunities and to connect to other people to impact their lives, you have to be willing to take that step outside your comfort zone. And I say that, and I understand, everybody has their own different pace, but I want to hear your opinion on the importance of getting outside your comfort zone and moving forward.
Yes, sir. So, importance of getting outside of your comfort zone is, well, it's important. So, think about it. If someone was stuck inside all day, not doing anything, watching TV, what would happen? Playing video games? What would happen?
Nothing.
Think for just a few seconds. Okay, so think about someone that went to the playground, that got exercise, that went and played with their friends, that went to school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Think for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, now it makes sense. That person that went and played with their friends, went on the playground, did a lot of things with their friends, is going to have a better social life. It's going to have a better life in general. Studies show that individual with the social life is going to have a lot better life in general. The individual at home is not. Yeah. There's been studies, I believe, that show that. So it makes sense, I've got a basketball court right outside my front door, so I can go and hang out with people in my community. I go to a program down the street from me called the Hub Houston. HUB stands for Heard, Understood, Believed In, which is a community program, and it's wonderful. I love it. It's for the uniquely abled, and we meet 3 days a week, or there's a high school program and Life 101 and everything included, and it's just amazing. So think about those things, So
And that's great too. And I love your answer as well because, and let's be honest, in life and the journey and much more, the biggest impact, and then not only just for your own self happiness, but to serve others as well, is by interacting with the people. Even from like the littlest things, from like the job, or just having fun with friends, or going to events. It's all involve people. So when you interact with different people, smile, laugh, you hear their stories, all part of the social thing that you just stated earlier. It has a greater outcome to life. But if you stay just inside, sheltered, you pretty much leaving a big, life full journey to actually witness, because you're not going out there in the world and engaging and enjoying it. So I definitely love your statement of how you put everything out there, of just like going out and just enjoying life and just living it, and not just watching it behind the screen, but actually going out there and living your life.
Exactly. Live the life you want to live, is what I say. I think that hits home for a lot of people. And this just has to do in general, but some people or some families or whatever will say, let's leave it basic, but we'll say, hey, you need to do what I did as a kid, doctor or whatnot, or lawyer or whatnot. But my family said, Adam, do what you want to do when you grow up, I've been in the retail and customer service industry for 12 plus years, going on 13, 14 plus years, I got a business certificate at Houston Community College. No one would hire me right out of college because I had a business certificate. So I'm like, well, I wanted to do something receptionist or admin assistant, and I have the right qualifications for it. But what everybody looks at these days is not the skills or the qualifications of the individual. They look at the resume. So I say, do what you want to do in your life, whatever it may be.
And I love that. Just pretty much take life into your own hands and living it on purpose, and just living your own life. So with everything said, a great interview and much more. But where can the audience find you, and if anything, like where can they support you as well?
Yes, sir. So it's my business is Younique Abilities. It's spelled YOUNIQUE abilities.com. And I want you to link that too, Chris, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. And then my inspirational speaking that I do is adamfarris.net. ADAMFARRIS.net.
Awesome. So thank you for taking out your time to, express your journey and inspire others, and letting them know that, the dream is possible and nothing is impossible as long as you live your life full on purpose and just execute it will happen. So closing out, it's your host, Chris Holmes. Another episode of Next Level Thinking to help you live your life on purpose and, of course, take it to the next level. And I have my special guest by the name of
Adam Farris.
Awesome. Peace and much love.